My name is Jim Lee. I'm running for this office because in observing what's been happening in our country for several years, it's obvious that Congress no longer represents we the people. I'm a Christian, conservative American, and I happen to be a Republican. I say that to tell you a couple of things about me. I'm a Christian. That's the worldview through which I view all issues. That's not a religious statement. That's a statement about who I am. I'm a conservative. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the Declaration of Independence. And I believe in the Republican Party platform that calls for limited, small government, lower taxes, personal responsibility, and individual freedom. I'm an American. And as an American, I can no longer sit idly by and watch what's happening in my government and see them destroy the liberties and the future that my 5 children are not going to have. They're not going to have the same opportunities that I have. I stand up here as the least experienced politician on this stage. I also stand here as the most experienced business person and veteran on this stage. I understand you. I get you because I am you. I am one of we the people. I'm not running on a platform of a huge legislative list of things I want to bring you. I'm not here to bring you a chicken in every pot and a government voter's car in every garage. Frankly, that's what's gotten us into this mess. What we need are representatives in Washington. And with all due respect, Christina, I believe we do need leadership in Washington. Servant leadership that understands that you are being sent to represent the people of your district. You're to be there as a placeholder in their stead because they can't be there. People want leadership. Leadership that's going to tell them candidly, clearly, and honestly what the issues are. Frankly, in Washington, the game to play is to go along to get along because that's the only way to get anything done. What that's done for us, unfortunately, has led us to a point where, as a country that's generally conservative, we're trying to pull back from moderate and liberal policies that are leading us to a point of a government that is completely unsustainable. And the outcome of that is a country that looks like other democracies on the ash heap of history. Now that's heavy, and I apologize for that. I'm clear, I'm candid, I tell you what I think. What you see is what you get. But I'm not angry about it because I believe America, their best days, our best days can be ahead of us if we're willing to confront the challenges that are before us. I have a business background. I look at issues through the lens of trying to find the root causes. Washington tends to find the symptoms and try and create solutions to symptoms that do nothing more than create new problems. We have a government that has grown uncontrollably under Democrat and Republican leadership. And it's time that we sent someone to Washington whose motivation for serving was not for self-interest, but for the interest of what's best for this country. I look forward to talking to you this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Myra, and thank you, everyone, for this wonderful opportunity. For the past 16 years, the people of the upstate have blessed me with the privilege of being a prosecutor. When you're a prosecutor, you have an opportunity to learn lots of life lessons. From crime victims, you learn about hope and resilience and forgiveness. From the men and women of law enforcement, you learn about courage and valor, and that there are some principles that are actually worth sacrificing your life for, like respect for the rule of law. The other thing you learn as a prosecutor is that government has certain opportunities, it has certain responsibilities, but it most definitely has certain limitations. Our country is at a crossroads. That is not a political platitude. We are at a fork road in the future of this country. And which direction we take will determine and dictate what kind of country we pass on to our children and our grandchildren. Down this fork is what I call statism. It is big government. It is government that is encroaching into areas that it never was intended to go, constitutionally speaking. Intruding in the automotive business, the banking business, that's statism. That's this fork. The other fork is the path to the American dream. And it is paved with personal responsibility, with accountability to others, with free market solutions. Which road we take will dictate what kind of country we pass on to our children and our grandchildren. We can win again, and we can do it two ways, two things we need to do. We need to have a clear message of principled conservatism, free market solutions, respect for the rule of law, personal responsibility, personal accountability, and humble judiciary. That education and hard work is the pathway to prosperity. American supremacy, American sovereignty, American exceptionalism. That there are certain cultural and moral guardrails that keep us from falling into a nihilistic abyss. A clear message of principled conservatism and in my humble judgment, ladies and gentlemen, delivered by a different kind of leader, a different kind of messenger, one that practices servant leadership, one that frankly will fight harder to keep your job than he or she does to keep their own. This is the greatest country on the face of the earth. My family has experienced the American dream. It is under assault. And there is a fight. There's an ideological battle going on in this country, and we can start winning it in the 4th Congressional District, and we can start this election cycle.
Thank you. Okay, we'll begin with the first round of questions. This will be directed to each of you. Ladies first, I guess, tonight. So this one, according to Real Politics, approval of Congress is at a dismal 19%. Many analysts say that if the current trend holds up, Republicans could gain a majority in the House and maybe even in the Senate. If elected, what will you do to win and keep the trust of the voters in District 4?
As the grandchild, and inheritor of a fighting tradition, Army officers going way back to the American Revolution, I don't know if I'll keep the trust of the entire nation. I'm not responsible for the entire nation, but I'll keep the trust of the people of the 4th District because I will fight for them. I will fight for the rule of law. I will fight for justice. I will fight for, if we have to repeal health care, that will be my mantra from now until November. It will be my mantra between November and January, and it will be my 24/7 duty to fight to repeal that because it is evil. And medicine by assembly line is death for the sick and the elderly and the disabled. And we have a 20th century history of how evil it is to devalue life. And that health care bill devalues life. And Sarah Palin was right. There are death panels in that bill. So I will be a champion. I have been a champion as a professor, as a manager of international trade.
Thank you, Dr. Jeffrey.
Thank you.
Solicitor Gowdy, would you like to go next?
Thank you, Myra. What we need is a new legislative model that asks 3 questions. Number 1, first and foremost, is it constitutional? Because the Constitution isn't just a set of high-minded ideals. It is the founding document of this country and the supreme law of the land. Number 1, is it constitutional? Number 2, is it sound public policy? Does it advance the ideals of free market solutions, personal responsibility, personal accountability? Number 3, is it affordable? But also, along with that new legislative model, we need a different generation, a different breed of leaders, one that will never accept a pay raise when your constituents are out of work and losing their homes and losing their retirements, one that will never travel to exotic places when your constituents cannot afford to go to Dollywood or Myrtle Beach. Principled conservatism combined with a new breed of leader will keep and restore people's confidence in the Congress.
Thank you. How about Senator Thomas?